Hello, growers. Protect your crops from harmful insects with Modern Growers Insectanet. This top-tier insect netting made by Modern Grower shields your plants from pests and harsh weather, boosting your yields without harmful sprays. Insectanet's unique design allows 90% of the light to pass through and is easy to use with low tunnel systems like our Quick Hoops. It's soft, elastic, and durable, perfect for field use to help ensure that your crops thrive. Say goodbye to pest damage and hello to healthier, market-ready produce. Invest in Insectanet and see the difference it makes. Get Insectanet at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.
What about in terms of the crops that you grow? In an email that you sent me, you mentioned you've tried crops and some just didn't go over that well, and others like broccoli, you could sell it and they fit well in your system, and you're going to be trying different things this year just to see what works well in your system. So on one side you have, can you grow it? Can you manage it in the field? And on the other side you have, do customers resonate with it? At these first times that you were at the farmer's market, did you vary the crops that you were bringing to try and get a feel for this is working or this isn't, or just keeping mental notes of like this crop's not going to go here?
Yeah. So the first season, I basically took Curtis's farm, crop selection from his book, which has quite a bit more things than he's currently growing, but it's mostly it's specialty with a focus on restaurants. And restaurants are going to want, for the most part, the same thing week after week consistently. Like retail customers, on the other hand, don't. They like variety for the most part. Some people want salad greens every week, like one bag, but they don't. They often like it when 1 week it's spinach, the next week it's spring mix, the next week it's arugula. So at the farmer's market for me for last season, I just basically brought everything that I had at that point. But at that point, it was only basically, the, baby root veg, salnova, baby kale, arugula kind of mix, and then some things I had thrown in as experiments. So broccoli, you mentioned, I'd grow a non-hitting variety from Johnny's called Happy Rich, and I could tell that was taking, not just the fact that it was selling, but then people would come back and comment the next week and buy more of it or give me other feedback. And so that provided me that kind of feedback. And then so there's I came to this point going into this season where I had to kind of decide to double down on going the restaurant route, which would kind of force me into a narrower crop selection, or try to, at least keep the same variety, if not expand it for the retail market. And my farm right now is looking like it's going to be a little over a quarter acre this year. I've had a bit of uncertainty this winter because one of my homeowners is selling, and so it was unclear whether I was going to be able to stay at that house. But when I looked at my numbers last year, I noticed that, broccoli, as an example, was quite profitable for me given the amount of labor, which is a lot less than something like salnova that goes into it, that I was able to get. And last year, I remember I planted 4 or 5 beds of salnova that I barely harvested, and I just had to be composted because I couldn't move that volume. So being able to move a variety is important to in my context at least.
How do you go ahead then with that idea of I need to have some variety at the farmer's market entering this season for 2018? Is it make your best guess as to what you think you can sell and just try it and then see what do customers buy, and can I grow it? Do I like growing it? Does it grow well?
Yeah. I kind of have 2 to 3 categories in my head. I have the things that I'm growing that I grew well last year. So I know I can grow it and I know it sells. So spinach, the Happy Rich broccoli, and are profitable. I tried growing pole beans last year, for example, that sold well when I had them, but the yields I got with the labor of stringing them up and everything wasn't what it needed to be. I tried pearl onions for the same thing last year. I tried a bed of them and it didn't work. So this year I'm doing regular bush beans. So the process of that is first evaluating, can I sell it? Or do I think there's going to be a demand? So I get that list, and then I go through and I try to find varieties that'll fit in my system. So my system is, I have a 20-foot bed with some 25-foot beds, just based on the lot sizes in Portland. That seems to be what fits best in my slots. 30-inch, and then I typically I have a lot of fabrics for weed suppression that I have at 3 rows at 12-inch spacing, or 4 rows at 6-inch spacing. And so my main question is, can I fit it in those fabrics? So for me, if something can't, like say cabbage, I'm trying cabbage this year, and if I found 2 varieties that I think might have a chance at fitting in 12 inches, but if they don't work at that, then it's not going to work for me. So that's kind of this feedback back and forth in my planning process of, can I sell it, and do I think I can grow it effectively? One thing that was like really popular last year that I'm growing a lot more of this year is like smallish head lettuces. They're a little bigger. I grow them a little bigger than gem lettuces, and I don't always stick to the gem varieties, but my online customers, especially, and even the farmers market customers, don't really seem to care. I just do a big stack of really pretty lettuce heads, and they just kind of paw through and pick out ones they like. And then I price it at a point where a bed of lettuce can be quite profitable, especially given how fast it grows.
If you enjoy this podcast, then be sure to check out Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, where you can get your daily dose of farm wisdom. Tune in every day to learn the latest tips, tricks, and stories from the world of farming. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just getting started, our podcast has something for everyone. Join us as we explore topics like farm business, crop planning, soil management, and tools and technology. Start your day off right with Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe today.